Faster rowing with only one trick? That sounds like a clickbait headline to me, but I promise you that was not the intent. There is actually one tip that I think can truly make you faster, and I've seen it work time and time again for people on the machine so that you don't actually have to put more effort into the machine. You can simply change the way that you are actually approaching the stroke. It's a thing that you change, that you do in the stroke entirely, and it just makes you go faster. Boom, like that. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but if you're willing to gamble and you want to listen, let's give it a try. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Shane Farmer, and this is Dark Horse, where you build the life that you want to live, and we just happen to use rowing usually to get you there. Okay, now listen, you throw out things like faster with one trick. It's not a trick, it's technique. You gotta think about the way that you are perceiving this stroke, and what this tip is intended to do is actually give you a better engagement. It helps you, as the mover on a rowing machine, put more force easier into the machine and be able to translate it on the monitor so that it's reading that you're actually doing the work that you're doing. I hope that makes sense. So what is this tip? The way in which you change directions at the catch. And if you're new here and you're like, what is that? The catch is the front of the stroke. It's that moment where you're loaded. You're like a coiled spring, ready to pounce on its prey, something like that. But the point is that it's that moment where you change direction from sliding forward to pushing yourself back. If we can optimize not that entire process, but literally that process, just the moment where you just go like that, the loop, like that side of the stroke. If we can make that faster, if we can make it more concentrated, you tell the machine, hey, I am here. I'm showing you how I'm putting tension on the handle immediately, and you lose that slack. If you've ever felt that sensation of pushing against the machine, there's no slack on the handle, and all of a sudden, boom, you feel like 6 inches or a foot in, all of a sudden there, you get tension on the handle. That is missed opportunity. You are going slower on the machine because you're not giving the machine anything to read. The machine can't start really reading that you're putting force into it until you feel that jerk on the handle, that resistance on the handle, whatever machine you're using. What we're doing here is trying to feed into the machine, the monitor itself, on whatever machine you're on, that there is indeed a human being here putting effort into this machine from the very first centimeter versus 6 inches, 1 foot, a foot and a half after the handle has started moving. All these handles on rowing machines are essentially measuring 3 things: force, acceleration, and distance. Okay, now with those 3 things calculated, every company has a different algorithm that punches out a different result. It's why a 2K on a water rower versus a Concept 2 versus a Hydro versus a Nordic Track 900W, whatever letters, I haven't had a chance to try it yet, or any of the lower cost models, you can't equate them. You can't take a time on one and equate it to a time on another because they're not the same. Each company uses its own algorithm. At the end of the day, if you can maximize force, acceleration, and distance, then what you're going to do on whatever machine you're on is tell it, hey, I am a more effective rower. I'm a faster rower. I'm more powerful. So with that being said, let's get into how we can actually improve that change of direction. I'm going to show you the how, of course. I'm going to show you how to do it, because once you can get that push moment, you're gonna be able to drop those splits. You're gonna go faster, and it's just one singular thing, and it's just one change that doesn't require more effort. It simply requires more focus. There you go. All right, so as I mentioned, what we are attempting to do here is that it's as we get to this front of the stroke, this moment in time, that little U shape, right? When we change direction from sliding forward to moving back, if we can improve our speed of change of direction, then what we're doing is increasing our effective length of the stroke. So what typically happens in a stroke, and why does it get missed? Well, often people think of the stroke as there's a start and a stop point. They see it as like every stroke is its own thing. In reality, the stroke should be thought of as this infinity loop where we're just constantly recycling momentum from one direction to the other. We're never stopping or starting. And when we're talking about stopping or starting, what often happens is people see the front of the stroke as the start and the back as the stop. And so when they get to the catch, and you may find yourself in this camp, you get here and you're almost thinking, okay, get set and then take off again. But what happens there is that sit and wait time means that when you go to take a stroke, there's a disconnect between that change of direction that all rowing machines are trying to optimize. Essentially, it's like the flywheel or whatever system you have and the handle just don't meet. They kind of miss each other for a moment until you gain tension on the handle. And at the end of the day, that's what we're always searching for. I'll say that until the cows come home. But every body is searching for tension on the handle because that's, after all, what gives you the workout feeling. Oh, I'm doing some work because I have resistance on the handle. And if I don't feel resistance, well, my body is going to naturally try to do whatever it can to find that. The trick is that we change directions quickly. And we do it in a quick and almost like a feathering sense, like a light, finessed way. We're not trying to smash the handle, as in we're not trying to like break the machine when we change direction. We are trying to effortlessly change direction, do it quickly in a way that I get tension on the handle, and then I accelerate all the way through the stroke. How can you do it? But that's the thing, right? That's what we're doing. But how can you do it? There are a couple ways. Number one is we call what's called the top quarter drill, right? So the top quarter is that we are essentially just taking the top quarter of the stroke and just doing it over and over. And the way that this is helping us practice is that you just repeat that turnaround moment over and over and over, and your body tries to learn, how do I do it by using my legs to push, not by opening the shoulders, not by cranking the neck, and not by breaking at the elbows. So that top quarter drill, you could run a minute of top quarter drill, and it's a great way to help you practice. So just one more time that you can see what that looks like. Okay, then you can take that to the top half, which you can probably guess, just goes a little bit further into the drive. And what's important to remember is once you establish tension, then you begin to accelerate the handle. But it's that moment of turnaround that we're practicing every single time. Other way that we can practice this is going from the total opposite end, and these are called pause drills. So in this instance, you would start at the release, the back of the stroke. You're gonna pause on your own time. I like to take plenty of time to make sure that I can really reset and think about what I'm doing. But starting at that release position, I would think, okay, when I start, I'm just gonna practice a good recovery, right? Arms away first, close the hips, then the knees bend. And I'm gonna practice coming in slowly, and then a quick turnaround and come back to that release position and pause again. Now every stroke I'm gonna pause there. The reason I take an entire stroke is because it gives me time to think. What am I gonna do? Quick turnaround, quick turnaround, boom. And then I go, pause, reset. Did I do it? No, okay, what do I need to do differently next time? Right, you make the fix on your own. So what does it look like in reality? Okay, and it gives you that chance every stroke to reset, rethink, and then effectively introduce a faster and more effective turnaround. And what that looks like if we were to actually take that to rowing on the water, not that you really care because it doesn't matter that much, but in rowing on water, it helps us as well because it means that that blade enters the water at the same speed that we're moving, and it means that I'm not stopping the momentum of the boat. It means I'm able to start moving. I essentially put tension, water tension, or that surface tension in the water, on the handle, and then I start to move it. It applies to both machines and on the water rowing. It's kind of a universal. The more effective you can make that very catch position, the turnaround, the better you can be. And so what happens now? Why are we doing all of this? Well, because once you establish this, what you're gonna see, the reason, how you get faster, you watch your monitor when you do this. And once you get to start taking better strokes, where you effectively have a faster turnaround at the catch with no pause, right? If I take that stroke every time I get here, I have a slight pause and then I go again, well, I'm gonna have naturally slow splits on the monitor. What you will see after having done this is that those splits are naturally going to drop every time you think fast turnaround, fast turnaround, your splits are gonna naturally drop. You are gonna be going faster, but you're not doing any extra work. That's the beautiful part. It doesn't take more effort, it just takes more thinking. And once you do that, boom, you become a faster rower on the machine. End of story. And that's why we do this. That's the one trick that is going to make you faster on the machine. Now, if you found that immensely helpful, which you should, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it, because you're gonna get alerted when I come out with more videos just like this one, where I'm constantly trying to help you improve the way that you have fun with your rowing machine, making sure that you enjoy it and get the most out of it. And if you're looking for more, or perhaps you wanna start getting into some more effective workouts, check out my beginner playlist here, where you're gonna start getting introduced into workouts. You get to follow along with me, get a great workout, and maybe you learn something along the way.